All right, so Sunday was a pretty solid day for us. Russo, Jordy, Backdoor Fantasy Sports. We went five of six, but it was really a cash because Cooper Cup, we got the reboot there. And we were just talking about how like the plays just started cashing right out of the gates. We were feeling so good about these and they came through for us. But the ones we were less worried about ended up being on the tail end of the slip. Like Fryermuth, he ended up, after he cashed, we're thinking Cooper Cup, Cardinals are up by a lot. They're going to have to just start force feeding him in the second half. And then he gets that ankle injury. He was halfway there. He was at 6 targets and then he just leaves the game, doesn't come back. And we'll take the 10X, but man, we were so close. We felt great about those plays. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you guys were able to cash that 10X, just hook us up with a like. We're just getting started here. These Sunday slates are going to be a blast all season.
For sure.
And that's why we've been doing 6-mans on Sundays, because there's just a lot of value out there. Now, I'll be honest with you, like the 4-mans on a single game slate is kind of pushing it, especially in this matchup. But we want to give you guys at least 4 plays because, we're not gonna give you like a play each. So we just want to let you know that this matchup is kind of hard to read.
Some injuries too, so it's gonna make it a little harder.
Yeah, AJ Brown's out, and we don't, the jury's still out on the Falcons. Like, we've only seen 1 week of football and they didn't look good. Bijan looked good. But anyways, we've got so much to talk about that we're going to really get into on Tuesday with our fantasy football show, because like the gears are just turning right now and we want to go over everything we saw today. But we'll do a deep dive on Tuesday, doing the recap of Sunday. But let's talk about these plays real fast. Before we do, if you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, Underdog just keeps getting better and better, saying that they're going to run specials every single day all through September. So if you sign up and you use code BACKDOOR, you get I'm a little bit fried from today. If you sign up and you use code BACKDOOR, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash with your first deposit, and you get a free pick. On top of that, they've got all these specials they're dropping every day. They're actually very competitive with alt lines now. If you use the mobile app, I don't know if you guys have noticed that yet, but if you're on your desktop, maybe they're on there. I haven't been able to find them, but if I'm on my mobile app, I can like adjust the lines, and I made a 175x 6-man. That was just straight up YOLO, but I love plays like that, man. And I'm not putting like a ton on it, but it's like, you mean I can go for, because I made that same slip. And I had Cooper Cup. I was like, what if he just goes off? And I took that 11.5 line and I bumped his receptions up to that instead of targets. I'm like, there's a world where I could see that happening.
Yeah, it almost happened.
Dude, it was a 175x, man. And that's all I needed. And then Cooper Cup goes out. So I was especially bummed because that was like over a G for like $10 that I was missing out on. But anyways, Underdog, I'll try to stay focused here. Underdog, use the promo code BACKDOOR. It's all sorts of fun over there. And the platform just keeps getting better and better. You can also just go through the link in the description of the video. If you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, we don't have a deal with them, so we can't offer you all these goodies. That's why we prefer Underdog. But if you use the promo code at the bottom of the screen, I think they hook you up right now with like your first bet is $5 and they'll give you like $50. Like Prize Picks, whatever. Like, it's still a fun platform, but they're just too cool for school now.
Talent.
Yeah, they're going for
boys.
Yeah, they want Ruby Rose giving you sports advice.
I don't blame them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, let's talk about these plays. So I'm taking Saquon Barkley over 16.5 fantasy score on Prize Picks, and on Underdog it's like in the 15s because it's half point PPR versus full point. And then I'm going to be going with Bijan Robinson over 29.5 receiving yards on Prize Picks. And I think it's at like 31.5 on Underdog. And I do feel good about both of those. And I'll just tell you again, this slate's going to be a little bit tricky to read, but we found the 4 that we feel most confident about. What are you getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, I'm going to be taking Jahan Dotson for over 2.5 receptions. there's, this one's kind of up in the air. I'll kind of get into that, but I do feel good about it. It's just going to depend on like what really happens in this game. We really don't know. And I'm taking Kirk Cousins over 22.5 passing yards. It kind of, correlates with Russo's Bijan pick there. I like it a lot, and I think they're going to be playing from behind. So I like both of those plays, going together, really.
Yeah. And the more that I've looked into it, I really do like Kirk Cousins in this game. I think he needs to bounce back, and I think he'll be able to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's actually dive into the details here. We won't break down the whole slip, but if you guys tailed it, we were so close to 25x, but it was only a reboot that kept us from it. So we got the 10x, so we're in good spirits over here. All right, so Saquon, I'll start with him. So we only have one game sample size, and he went nuts. And there's a lot of, that's not the only reason I'm taking this play, because there's a lot of reasons to say, like, to pump the brakes a little bit on this, but I still feel confident about it. For one, he got 3 touchdowns. So that's a big part of that 33.2 fantasy score he got. But we also have AJ Brown out. And a lot of times when your star receivers go down, those targets a lot of times do get transferred to the running back, because let's say, the schemes are looking different and they're trying to buy a little bit more time, and then they just dump off to the running back. So statistically, running backs see a little bump in receptions when, like, look at Chicago tonight. When we took DeAndre Swift's targets, we needed him for 3 targets that one day, and Keenan Allen had 12, and now Keenan Allen's out, and they're getting Swift the ball because it's like when in doubt, you just check it down to the running back. So I think we'll see not like a huge bump, because I think Philly's still going to have it figured out. They still have Devontae Smith and Jahan Dotson. I do think he's going to be more involved. He played a lot. Jordy will get into all that, but anyways, I think full point PPR. I like the fantasy score here. Let's take a look at the matchup here for the rushing and receiving yards. So Atlanta is middle of the road. So he came off that game. It's a little bit deceiving, because remember that game in Sao Paulo, Brazil, the field was weird. The turf was weird. So like defenders weren't able to defend as well. And so they kind of figured it out, and they were just like feeding Saquon. So we don't know how week 2 is going to look, but I still feel confident. The matchup is not, it's just middle of the road. 16th in rushing yards allowed, 14th in receiving yards allowed. And again, your star player is out. So Saquon Barkley is an absolute stud. So I think they're going to rely on him heavy tomorrow. I don't believe, so we're always honest with you guys. This is a gut play. This DFS optimizer is awesome, but it's, calculating odds. It's checking out odds all across all these platforms. It's using AI to do it. It's a really killer tool. But this one is favoring it to go under. So go with your gut if you're uncomfortable with it. 52.49% odds to hit the under. And I think part of it is just because of the different scoring formats across these platforms. And so it's at 16.5 on Prize Picks. So Daily Grind is automatically seeing like, well, you're paying way more on here than you are on these other platforms. But if you take a look at, excuse me, even 15.9 on FanDuel, it's a plus 100, so you got to just go with your gut on this. I see a narrative here, so I'm going to be taking this for more. And then let's see, let's go back to Outlier real quick for Bijan. So he played the Steelers in this first game, right? Let me just double check that. I believe that's who it was. No, he played New Orleans. No, yeah, the Steelers. That's back. Okay. So yeah, he still went for 43 receiving yards. Even though it's favored to go under, I was first considering the receptions. But he pulled down 5 receptions, and he went for that 41 yards, but he had like 5 targets. So he had like a perfect game when it came to catching the ball. But I like this because I think that Philly is going to be able to actually put points on the board, unlike the Steelers, where it was just all defense. Their defense kept them in that game. They were able to move the ball a little bit, but it's nothing like what Philly can do, especially with Kellen Moore at the helm. So I think they're going to be playing from behind. I forgot to do it. Let's just take a look at the over-under real quick. 46-point over-under. So they're expecting this to be a productive game. It's not like crazy high, but it's also not like, a 35, 36-point over-under. So they're expecting some points to go on the board. and they are expecting Philly to win this game by 5.5 points. So the Falcons, there's a good chance they'll be playing from behind, like we've talked about. So my logic is Bijan still put up 43 receiving yards against Pittsburgh, who wasn't actually just slamming a bunch of points on the board. So in this case, if they're playing from behind, there will be a lot more of, like we saw, we still need to see what Kirk Cousins looks like, but I think he bounces back. But again, if he has any situations where he's in doubt, he can dish it out to Bijan. He knows he went 5 of 5 last week. And the reason I like the receiving yards better than the receptions is because in a situation like this, I can't guarantee that he's going to catch the ball 5 times tomorrow. But if he does, I think he's going to have over 31.5 yards or 29.5 yards. So there's also a scenario where he catches the ball twice and breaks it off for 29.5 yards. Bijan is an elite prospect, So when it comes to receiving yards, Philly is 18th in receiving yards allowed. So I like the matchup. I like the narrative. I'm going to be taking that for over here. And you can see they have the Daily Grind DFS optimizer actually has the receptions favored under. If we go down here to the receiving yards, it's a 50-50 shot basically, but they do have it favored to go over 29.5, minus 120. And you can see other platforms kind of like Underdog has it at 31.5. And they're still showing on Daily Grind that that's a 50-50 shot, but I think he's going to be able to get this done. Like I said, 43 against Pittsburgh. He's going to be playing from behind in this one. If you guys do want to check out this DFS optimizer, it's a really killer tool. We use it all the time. This is just a tricky matchup here with these two teams. But if you guys want to take advantage of this, they're a partner of ours, so they'll give you 25% off when you use code BACKDOOR. Just go to dgfantasy.com, and when you put that code in, you can stretch that out for as long as you want. I would just lock it in for the whole football season, get that 25% off, because this will help you cash more often. And they have other tools too. They have an AI slip generator that just builds your whole slips out for you. It's really cool. It uses correlation. It'll even like mix and match different sports that it thinks it has a bunch of plays that are juiced to go over. It'll compile all those, and you press a button and it locks it in for you. So if you guys want to check that out, there's a link in the description of the video. And if you do want to check out this app Outlier, this is kind of like our little holy grail. We can vet all of our plays with Outlier. And you can see the statistics, you can see the matchups, injury reports, insights about the players. And they're another partner of ours. So if you want to check them out, just go through the link in the description. You don't have to put a code in. They'll just let you try it out for a week and see how you like it. All right, Jordy.
All right, man. So to get into mine, so I feel really good about these plays for sure. Let me get my screen fixed here. You're not the only one that's messing up tonight. At the beginning of the show, we were still on the fantasy show outlay, but I got it fixed. We're on the right one now. I realized when we were about to go into the promo stuff, I was like, oh, we're on the fantasy show stuff. Anyway, you guys should go check out the fantasy show. Last episode was a lot of fun. But so getting into this, Jahan Dotson, I feel great about this. If you look at how long he was on the field in the last game, he was actually out there for 36 passing plays, which was about 49% of the plays. So with AJ Brown being out, I think this number is going to go up to like 60. I think he'll be out there for a majority of the time. Devontae Smith and Jahan Dotson are expected to lead the Eagles receiving corps. I think that's the case too. I think Jahan Dotson's really good. I just don't think he's ever gotten the perfect opportunity. And I think tomorrow's really going to be his chance to shine. I don't think he's going to have this amazing, coming out game like a Jameson Williams, but I think he's going to get at least like 4 receptions and maybe be in like the 40 to 60 yard range is what I'm predicting. But maybe he does better than that. We'll see. Or maybe this is just a total bust, so you got to kind of go with your gut on this one, because Daily Grind is not liking this one. But I'm taking his receptions over 2.5. It looks really grim over the last 5 games because he's just never really found his niche in any of these offenses he's been a part of. He was with Washington for the beginning of his career. He had some flashes of being really good. You could see he played the Eagles with Washington and he had 8 receptions in that game, and he went nuts. So it's just like, I think the dude just hasn't really had the opportunities to shine. I drafted him in Dynasty as a rookie, and I've kind of just held on to him ever since. Just kind of hoping that he would eventually play well, and I really like him with the Eagles. I think it's eventually going to pay off. So, you know, he had only 1 target for 0 receptions in the last game. That was a horrible game, really bad turf. There was a lot of things that went into that, but now AJ Brown's out, so I really feel good about this. It is a tough matchup. They're 4th in receptions right now. It's their wide receivers, but we'll just see how that goes. They also played Pittsburgh, right? So we can't really overreact too hard to that rating. So I think that they're going to do a lot better, and I actually think that the Eagles are going to lead in this game for majority of the time. I think their run game's too strong, and I think they just have a little bit more of an identity than the Falcons do right now. So I really like this play. 3 receptions is not asking a lot out of a wide receiver 2 for the moment. So my next play is actually going to be Kirk Cousins for over his 225 passing yards. This is just far too low for Kirk. If he can just get his groove back, he only threw for 155, but Pittsburgh's defense is looking super solid. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Broncos game today. There's a lot of people who thought I was crazy for picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win against the Broncos. I don't know why, but the Steelers look good. What they do is they just let you have everything underneath and they rally to the ball. The Eagles kind of play a similar defense, but I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a game where he kind of shuts people up here. You know, Philly is rated 31 in passing yards allowed, giving up 252 a game. You know, a lot of that was last year, so maybe they're a little bit better this year, but I just don't see it happening. You know, Darius Slay is kind of banged up too, so that helps a lot. I think Kirk is going to have to throw for over 225. I think they're going to be playing from behind. I think it's going to help Bijan a lot. I think they're going to, you know, dink and dunk to him and let him just go out and do his thing, which is getting in the open field and making people miss. So I think it's going to help that prop as well, but I think Kirk is easily going to clear this line. He's got way too many weapons in Kyle Pitts and Drake London. I think this 225 line is honestly like a discount. The last time he played them, mind you, he had Justin Jefferson, but he's also got Drake London and Kyle Pitts and a lot of these guys who just haven't had their, you know, showing out yet. So he went for 364 against them last time, and he threw for 31 completions on 44 pass attempts. They were down in a lot of that game. If you look at the score on this game, it was 34-28. Minnesota lost. I think it's going to be a very similar score in this game. Not that high, I don't think, obviously, but I think it's going to be 24-17 maybe, you know. So I think Kirk is going to have to throw a lot to catch back up is what I'm saying. If you look at the injury report, I don't think there's anything significant for the Falcons here. Nope, nothing on the offensive side of the ball except Rondale Moore, but I don't even know how involved he actually is. So yeah, that's going to be my 2 plays. If you look at this one on daily grind, the pass attempts are juiced over 33, but they don't think he's going to go for 225. I'm like, I just don't know. The passing completions are juiced under 21.5. I just think Kirk's better than that. So I'm going to be taking this for over for sure. I think the 225 line is really a good line to go at. It's only a -119 for the under, so they really don't know. It's a 50-50. They're just kind of throwing it, you know, slightly favorable to the under. Probably, is it in Philly?
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, they're probably just taking all that into account, and you know, but I think he's gonna be fine. So that's gonna do it for my 2 plays. If you guys want to go check out Chalkboard, they're a lot of fun. I actually had almost a very similar slip cash over there to the one we had set for the last lineup we just gave you guys. I went and bumped everything we took up a little bit too high, so I didn't cash it, but that's the fun part over there. You can go bump those lines up. It came really close, and I would have won, like, I think I put like $2 on it, and I would have won, like, I think it was like $480 something. So it was really close on a $2 bet. So obviously, you know, I did bump them up really high, but that's what's so fun about playing on Chalkboard over there, is you get these crazy alt lines and you can really just make some fun YOLOs. So if you're, you know, a person who likes to make big slips and you want to just throw like $1 on it, go over there and play Chalkboard, man. It's a lot of fun. Or you can really get really good value on like 2-mans if you like playing those kind of slips. So a lot of fun over there. If you use code BACKDOOR at checkout, they'll match your first deposit up to $100, and they'll give you a free play to help you cash. They run like 6 specials a day. They had so many going on today that I kind of lost track of them all. But that's the fun part. They really do hook you up for playing over there. So definitely check that link in the description below for Chalkboard. And that's going to do it for me tonight.
All right. Well, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of our Discord real quick. If you want to come join the community. We had a great Sunday, and we kind of led in with a little bit of UFC on Saturday. I didn't do good on UFC, but I know some people in here were hitting. But yeah, we've got another analyst in here, Moose. He's killing it. Shout out to everybody in the Discord, Jay, Ziggy. But yeah, here's that video slip that those of you who tailed know should have been better than that. But what are you gonna do? He got injured. But yeah, if you guys want to come join us, there's a link in the description of the video for Patreon. If you sign up through Patreon, all you do is just sign up there. They manage our subscription services. So once you're signed up through Patreon, go up into the connected apps in the settings. It's like you go up to settings and you go to connected apps, and then there's a Discord thing. You just connect your Discord, and they will just give you access to our whole channel over here. And then also come follow us on X. We've been posting plays. If you haven't followed us yet, you get all of our updates and everything. If you want to know what we're getting into, X is our main, we have an Instagram and a TikTok and all that, but X is kind of like our most active. And Moose, our other analyst, he's on there. All of our handles are in the description of the video, but if you want to follow Moose as well, he's posting all the time. So yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Definitely come check out our fantasy show. We've been having so much fun with that. If you haven't yet, covering fantasy football, and on Friday we make DraftKings lineups. But yeah, Tuesday we'll be covering all of our waiver wire ads, which there's going to be a lot of them this week. So tune in for that. And we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for helping us build this channel up. It's been a lot of fun. It's our second year. We're just having a blast with it. So shout out to you guys. We really appreciate you. Have a good night, and good luck in the games tomorrow. We'll catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.